Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Angel and Tina. So excited to have you guys joining us today. Tina, how are you doing?
Good morning. Good morning. Look, we got some fabulous guests in. We've had two guests. One of the guests again had to cancel due to a dog getting out. But
Yeah, her dog getting out. Like nobody died this time, right?
yeah,
Like
nobody died
sometimes
this
like
time.
that was
But
that
it's
was
but it's amazing how God works, right? When people cancel or whatever, we kind of go and run with the flow. We go with the flow. If somebody cancels, we're just like, oh, okay, well, we're just gonna have one person here. But it always works out to be the best. And today works out to be the best because Allison Proffit's in the house.
Hey,
Whoop,
Allison.
whoop, what's up? Hi, how are you ladies?
I'm good. I know I've been chasing you around the country a little bit. I thought you were on the East Coast this morning, but turns out you're not.
No, I'm back in Colorado. So I was in Pennsylvania and I left on New Year's morning to make the cross country trip. So I was a super driver. I drove 16 hours on Saturday to make it here to Colorado.
By
Are
yourself?
you kidding?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
Yeah, 16 hours is a kind of a long drive. That's a long
Yeah. So I'm here in Colorado. So not on the East Coast anymore. So it's just having to calculate all the time zone differences.
Yeah, right. So did you guys know each other in Colorado?
No, we have some mutual friends
Once
and
Angel left Colorado, she made like 100 new friends.
from Colorado. Like my Colorado world
Down the
opened
street,
up.
Colorado, like in the next neighborhood, Colorado.
Isn't that so funny? When we talk about you're never a prophet in your own hometown, right? Like I remember I knew some really incredible speakers who would be paid speakers, travel globally, internationally all the time, and he's like, I can't get a gig here in my own hometown. Like nobody would hire him. Like, he was like not a big deal, but he's like, I go out and he's this global superstar. And it just feels like as soon as I left Colorado, I've got all these people reaching out to me like, oh, you're gone, I want to connect, oh, let's
Right?
do some stuff. I'm like, I was there for 10 months. Allison, did that happen to you? Because you were in Pennsylvania for quite a while. Have you seen that shift?
So I grew up in Pennsylvania. I spent like my whole life in Pennsylvania, and then I left back in 2017, and I didn't feel that way. No, I didn't feel like anybody missed me. I'm sure that's not true, but when I left Pennsylvania to come out to Colorado, it was sort of this very life adventure-y thing. I was married at the time, and I had lost my HR job that I was working in, and I wanted to start my own business. I like to say it was like an early midlife crisis. And so we like sold all of our stuff and broke the lease on our apartment, traded both cars in, packed it up. We actually moved to California first to like go live on this lady's property to care for horses and dogs and in exchange for room and board. And essentially, I think everybody thought I was crazy and maybe just were like, we're going to keep her at our place. And then I was only back in Pennsylvania for 4 months. So
Well, that was like
this
an adventure.
year.
You go to California and then you go back to Pennsylvania. It's like a little, world adventure. And it's not everything is the same. Colorado, California, Pennsylvania, they're all three completely different like states. Like, I mean, I know they're different states, but like completely different.
Yeah. So it was Pennsylvania to California, California to Colorado. Then from Colorado, I went to Idaho, and then I came back to Colorado, and then I went to Pennsylvania, and now I'm back in Colorado. I've moved 11 times since January 2017.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, life has been a journey.
Have you always been kind of this? No?
She's like,
no. So before 2017, I never lived more than 50 miles from where I was born. And I was 36 when I left Pennsylvania. So again, it was like an early midlife crisis. In that time frame from 2017 until now, I've moved 11 times. I actually lost 4 jobs. I tried to start my business 4 times. I changed careers twice. I got a divorce. Like I had all this life stuff happen. And, that builds resiliency. And it also really revealed what I'm passionate about to me. So I didn't hate any of the journey. It wasn't easy necessarily, but life's not meant to be super easy. It's like there's growth in the pain. So we can embrace it and then just decide who we want to be through all of that. So, yeah.
Well, what a
I like that
fascinating story.
Right?
Um,
Sounds like the glow stick story.
Right. So, Allison, we call Tina our resident glow stick because, when you think about a glow stick, you have to break it in order for it to shine. So you have to be gracefully broken so that your true gifts can shine into the world. And Tina's book just came out last week, and we talked about her glow stick story, right? Her being gracefully broken, but that she is shining brighter than ever because of it. And so
her story is the same thing, like going through all those big, according to Google, and it's in my book, but according to Google, there's 10 things in your life that can make or break you. It's like marriage and divorce and birth and death and loss of a job and all this stuff. There's like 10 major things. And with what you just said, you have like 5 or 6 of those major things, like all in a 4-year period of time. Yeah. And I had all of those things, 5 of those things, like 5 of the 10 I had in a 6-month period of time. So, you do all of these things and it does build that resilience, for you. However, during the time, you think you're never going to get out of it. Like I felt like I was in the ocean and like another wave would crash on top of me. And I'm like trying to like catch my breath and another wave crashing down and another wave. And so when you do that and then you come out of it and you see the beauty and the thing that you have created and the passion that came out of it, then you can say, you know what? That's why I had to go through all of that. That's why I had to be gracefully broken.
So let's talk about that, Miss Allison, about what you're currently working on, this fabulous little project you've got going on.
Oh gosh, yeah. So for context purposes, I have my own business. My business is called Proffit Coach. And a lot of people ask, like, did I change my name for my business? The answer is no. I was born with the last name Proffit. And so I'm a
destiny for you to run this profitable business, right?
That's right. Yeah. Well, I tell people that my destiny was in front of me my whole life, but it took me 39 years to figure it out. And so in my business, I'm a coach that really focuses on helping people find a more soul aligned path to sales and marketing so that they can have success in their business. And I launched my business in October, and the pandemic obviously happened in March. So I was sort of early on in my business. And again, I had tried to launch my business 4 other times before, but this time I was profitable right away. And initially I started doing marketing strategy consulting work because the second career change I had was a sales job at Constant Contact. And that job taught me sales. And they also taught me to be just very authentic in how I sold. And I loved that because my whole career was HR, and you're kind of having to walk around with masks on when you work in HR. And I think there's a lot of business coaches out there that have the best intentions, but they're trying to like kind of give people prescriptions of like, do this and you'll be successful, do this and you'll be successful. And it's like, but if it doesn't align with you and your soul and who you are at the core, that it's a path for, it's not sustainable. And so I am such a community builder. I love connecting with people. Angel and I met through a summit that I was a co-organizer for earlier this year. And I thought, I ran 2 other summits this year or 2020. And I thought I really wanted to do one just for me, for my business. And I wanted it to be focused on entrepreneurs that are interested in really doing business their way in a way that feels so aligned. And I think entrepreneurship can be very isolating, and especially when you feel like you don't resonate with whatever things are being put out there. Like, oh, you have to do this on social media. Oh, you have to do this. There's all these like have tos and shoulds. And that just feels like pressuring. That doesn't feel good. And I thought, what if there was some permission? A lot of my clients say that I always feel like I have such a different level of permission after a session with you. And I think that's what we're all seeking, is permission to be ourselves And through our work, that's what we're often trying to strive to give to our clients that we work with if you're in a consulting or service-based industry. And I thought, how can we bring people together that are doing business in that way, so that we can learn from each other, so that we can connect with each other and support each other. And so we've got this amazing summit that I've put together. Angel is one of our speakers. We've got panelist speakers. We're doing all these different like embodiment activities with like meditation and centering, so that we can really bring that soulfulness into it. And there's going to be a mindset day, money and time day, messaging, and community building. And yeah, I'm super stoked. We've got Constant Contact on board to kind of put their name behind it as well. And so that's like a big deal to me, because they were a big part of my journey of really just, I never was a salesperson. Like that's why my business has failed before. So they gave me that gift of like how to do that. And it's just so cool to like have them be a piece of it in this way, to bring this dream that I had of bringing these types of people together. And yeah, it's like goosebumps just talking about the whole thing. So thanks for letting me share a little bit more about it. I'd love to answer any questions or tell you more.
Well, this is one of the things that the morning show, we love about it. It's unscripted, right? You get to hear a little bit more of the story, you get to peel back the layers as if you were just having coffee with somebody. And so a little bit more behind the scenes than what you would normally get on a typical stage or a typical interview. And so for you to give that backstory, but every piece of that journey, I mean, look at that, how, you're like, my businesses, I mean, there's so many nuggets in here, Allison, right? Your businesses kept struggling, didn't know how to sell, ended up with Constant Contact, taught you this very valuable lesson. And now that you're hosting your own event, look who comes back as a sponsor to support you. And so it comes around in ways that, are often better than we even imagine them to be when we allow that, when we're open to that. But Allison, you're like that Chinese proverb, fall down 7 times, get up 8. You never stopped. Like, you didn't let those moments define your future, right? You didn't let your past. What was it that Marty said? It was so powerful about a bad past doesn't mean you can't have a beautiful future or something like that. It's
a bright future. Yeah.
Yeah. You're such an inspiration, Allison.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I feel like I have collected all these amazing experiences for a reason. And I think it's that's our work on this world, on this earth, is to just see it all as the opportunity to then use those experiences, as painful as they may be, like allow that light to shine out of the cracks. Like, Tina's, glow stick story is, it's like that's like, what's the point of it all, right? It's like, use your experiences to have growth for yourself, and then other people can grow by watching what you were able to do. I mean, when I started this business, I had $200 in my bank account. I was single. I mean, luckily I had a friend that like allowed me to live in his house for rent free while I was trying to figure it out. I had a business that dissolved in Idaho right before I started this business with like a dear friend of mine, and it didn't work out. And 4 weeks after I moved to Idaho, I turned around and moved back to Colorado, and I was like, by golly, like, this is it. It's going to work this time. And it did. And I think there's that resolve that that's within all of us. I think that's the thing. It's like, I'm not special in that case. Like, anybody watching this can step into their power. And it is about opening your eyes and seeing all the people around you that really do want to be a part of your journey in success. So thank you for saying that I'm inspiring.
I love that, because so many of our guests have been so vulnerable here on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. And just saying, I got broken. I had to go through this. I had to go through this. I had to go through this. But now I am here. And hearing all of these inspirational stories, it makes those people who are going through those things, who are going through maybe just one of those things, it makes you that much more relatable, because now they're saying, oh, she got through it and now look what she's doing. Oh, she was able to get through this and now look what she's doing. And it is almost like, just like Angel said, that you're an inspiration, but people are looking up to you saying, oh, even though she went through hell, she got through it. I can do it too. And it helps them keep on, continuing on and not give up.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how do people plug into this fabulous event that you are pulling together, Allison?
Oh my gosh. If you check out my Facebook, there's Proffit Coach. There are links all over about how you can get to be a part of the summit. And we've got free limited access passes. So this is not necessarily a money-making thing, right? Like, we want to make it accessible to people wherever you are. So you can come and grab a free limited access pass, or the better deal, in our opinion, is the all access pass. You're going to get access to more speaker sessions. You'll get access to the recordings, some amazing offers that all of our speakers are providing. And yeah, so it's called the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit. It's happening January 25th through the 29th. And I'll be moderating it. And we've got 2 other fabulous moderators and just great speakers. So yeah, we would love to see all of you there. And there'll be some networking opportunities, even though it's virtual. So we'll also have that opportunity to have some more intimate conversations using breakout rooms and things like that. So since we're missing the in-person thing, we want to really try to cultivate that. And again, I mean, my work in HR, I mean, that was what my job was, right? It was like to bring a whole organization together. And so it's just using all of those gifts to pull off a summit like this. And yeah, we're super stoked. We're going to have a bunch of interviews dropping out over the next couple of weeks with all of our speakers. And so you'll get to learn a little bit more about them. We've got some fun music things that we're doing, because myself and Amanda Mundo of Social Hero Brands, we're both very musical. And so we put together a fun playlist of all of our speakers' favorite songs. So even if you don't come to the summit, there's going to be great, fun little insights that you can come and check out at Proffit Coach on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. But just come. If you're listening to this and any of this sounds interesting to you, just come and check it out. You have nothing to lose.
This is so exciting. So, okay, so Allison, just to kind of back up just a little bit, it's the beginning of the year. You have something that obviously you've got a great big event that you're kicking off the year. Do you ever do like the word of the year or something that kind of guides you for the year? Yeah.
I do. Yes. So this year, it's not a word, it's a phrase. And my phrase is a sense of place. And so it means a lot of different things for me. Again, this move back to Colorado will be my 11th address. I think there's something special about it being the number 11. I'm a believer in those different things. And so I really feel at home in Colorado. And I've bounced around a bunch of different times. And so for me, it's a little bit of like putting my roots down and staying put. It's also beyond just that home, that personal, like my actual sense of place in my home. I really want to be a part of people's journeys of just feeling at home in their business, not feeling discomfort in what it is that they're doing and how they're doing it. And because when we think about home, it's relaxed. We feel comfortable being there, right? Just being there. We don't have to do anything. We're just being in our home. And I really want to help. I want to feel that way for myself in my business. I want to help people find that. And I want to be that sense of place for them in that journey as well, if they so choose to need some of that support. So a sense of place.
A sense of place, right? And I think that
I think a lot of people have been using phrases this time around, like,
long tail keywords, right?
Yeah.
One word just isn't going to cut it.
Yeah.
But it is. I remember when my kids were in middle school, middle school is a tough time for kids, right? I mean, it's a tough time for a kid. And I wanted our home to be like this sanctuary, like a safe place, right? Where you came in and it was just you were just comfortable and you were safe. And because they would go out that door and I couldn't control, right, what they were being exposed to. And um but even as we travel, like they always say, nothing feels so good after a trip is like being able to come home. We look forward to being out and about and traveling and having these other experiences, but it's like when we come back, we appreciate like that familiarity and that comfort. And I know I've got a couple gals who are like me, right? We're kind of in the middle. We're transitional right now, not in a permanent home. And at first it's fun and exciting and it's spontaneous. But after a while, you're like,
I
I
want
would
my
just
own stuff.
like to have my own place. So I totally get that sense of place. And
Yeah.
that's a season, right? That's a season that you're in, Allison, and what you're pouring into others too, to create that sense of belonging in their business, like in everything that they're doing. I think that's just a really cool perspective.
And I also like how she was like, it's number 11, because that's the number of angel. That's the angel number,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
11 is always that good number that so many people inspire for. So I think this is going to be the last one.
I
I
love
I
that.
feel pretty good about it. What about both of you? What are your words for the year?
So my word this year is obsessed, right? And it's really about becoming obsessed with success, and because you get what you think about most of the time. And we are also in that transition phase. We've moved from Colorado, was in my home for 21 years. I lived in Denver since I was 14. And um, right now it is just making sure that I stay focused, right? Just stay focused on growth and not let these little things distract me, right? And even though I say that, and I feel like I was looking at my Author Central page on Amazon that shows your blog. I have not updated my blog in 3 months. Like it pretty much stopped like doing that when I started this move process. And so
Well, it
there's
kind
different
of takes
things.
over your life. I mean, you guys did it so quickly. It does kind of take over your life. So I
But
think
just
people can give you grace for that.
trying to just not get distracted by the shiny, because there are so many things that want to come in and kind of pull you off your path.
Mhm.
And I think especially when you are in a space where you're impacting others, right, it's really easy to get who do you
Already,
think you are, and what do you think you're doing, and how are you equipped, and it's not going as fast as you think, like all of this stuff. And so really just staying grounded with my purpose. And so the word I came up with was obsessed. It probably sounds a little like not as a positive word, but it works for me because I know what's behind it.
yeah. And that's the whole thing, is having your word, and you know what it is. When people say, "Oh, it's a sense of place." Okay, and no, but I know what all that means. I
Mhm.
can go into it, I
Right.
can tell you all about it, but I know.
Mhm.
And that's why my word for 2021 is intentional, and to be
Mm.
intentional with everything that I'm doing. Be intentional with my business, with my personal self-care, with my health, with my money, with my children. We're not they're not children no more. My young men. They'll be like, "Don't call me a kid."
Yeah, my 27-year-old reminded me that, I was calling her a kid. And then I realized,
But still give me a stocking, right? And an
I,
Easter
s-
basket.
yeah, I say it all the time. I say it all the time. All right, ladies, I'm going to take a quick little commercial break and so promote our sponsors here. I just want to say thank you, Allison, for coming on this morning, for carrying the show, just being willing to be so vulnerable and open with us. Super excited to be promoting the Soulful Entrepreneur event that's coming up. But our morning show is sponsored by some fabulous sponsors. We are streamed on all those digital platforms. including Roku, which Roku got to ring the NASDAQ bell yesterday. So super exciting day for Roku and all of the Zondra TV network, all of her producers. But we are on a digital streaming platform. Thanks to Zondra TV. If you've ever thought about hosting your own TV show, being a producer of your own show, they have an incredible incubator program, and you can schedule your discovery call by going to their website, beonztv.com. That's beonztv.com. Bliss by the Lake Boutique is our clothing sponsor. They do fashion shows here on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. They get fresh new inventory in every single week, adorable stuff, and they ship all over the country. So follow them on social media. That's Bliss by the Lake Boutique. And then Sonic VA, if you're thinking about putting out some videos, let Sonic VA take care of that. Actually, I have a whole new script for them, and I don't have it pulled up. But YouTube is where so many eyes are. And to put out a professionally edited video, Sonic VA is an expert at taking your content, putting in all the right keywords and optimizing that so you show up like a rock star. Leverage them for your videos when you go to sonicva.com/video. And when you mention the Angel and Tina Morning Show, they are going to give you a 10% discount off your first 5 videos. So check them out, sonicva.com/video. Those are our sponsors. This is our fabulous guest. And so I will admit this morning, I'm just a little distracted because I've got a lot going on with our contract with the house. We have a closing date of February 8th. But right now we're back in contract negotiations again.
It's paperwork. It's all the paperwork that you need to supply. And I remember buying my house. I've bought 3 houses in my life, I think. But it's all that paperwork. Like you need we have to have this. And then like the day before, we also need this. And you're like, wait, it's going to take me a couple of days to get this. Like I can't just give it to you in 24 hours.
Yeah. So right now we're waiting for some information from the HOA, and and they're like, it's not going to be a quick process. I'm like, okay, well, it needs to be because
I need my own house.
I kind of
need a house.
right now. And so the the seller is getting frustrated because he thinks we're the ones dragging our feet, and it's like, oh, great, all right, no, that's not what's happening here.
It's so much
at all. Yeah, there's just so many other people and so many so anyway, so I apologize. There's all these like texts and emails and stuff flying in this morning. And
you know what? We give you grace for that. And it's an unscripted show. And everyone who watches have been through it, have watched your journey the last 6 months, buying this house, or it's Not so much. When it's still all coming together. It's still all, God's will, God's plan. He's testing your faith a little bit or a lot of it.
I check in with him. I check in with him every day. Yeah, I check in with him every day. And oh, so Daniel says our show logo is still showing the old logo. That's true. I haven't updated the graphics.
So I always say things like that. It's like, I mean, like, is anybody really noticing that except for all of us on the inside? Like, probably not. Everything's happening as it's supposed to. The things that really matter are happening.
That's like when we first did our first Connect Summit, Angel and I on the back end were just like scrambling, like, oh, this person's not here yet. This is wrong. This is wrong. And everybody afterwards like, that was the best summit ever. And we were like, really? You didn't see all the back end, and it takes a lot of work. And I think everybody needs to understand how much work it takes to put on a summit and to put on something like this. Especially like when we did it, we were probably one of the first responders out there to do our first virtual summit. But doing it on Zoom, and then, should we stream it on? Do we stream it on Facebook? Can we stream it on Facebook? Oh yeah, you can, but you got to go into settings and you got to approve it. And you start learning all these things on doing everything virtually. And then people don't show up, or something's going on in the back end, or she's taking too long. And we're just going on the back end of things where nobody sees. And we're like putting out fires left and right, left and right.
Yeah,
But
it's still,
nobody
it's still
sees
an
that.
event, right, Allison? Like, I mean, if we were going to do live events, you have all of these moving parts, and a lot of those moving parts still exist,
Yes.
even though it's virtual. And you think, oh, wow, we're just sitting here, like it's all good. Everybody will show up. Everybody will be on time.
and you're constantly going.
Yeah,
Well, and
yeah,
there's the
and
thing,
it's
too.
like you have to put out all the emails, and it's really interesting. I mean, I think there are things that when you're running events like that or doing something that is a production of some sort, there are things that are nice to have, and then things that are, kind of need to have, right? And I hate the word need. It's like, and it's a low vibration word, but you need a platform, whatever it is, and you need to make sure everybody knows how to use it so that they can show up. And then there's the nice to have things, and we're doing a lot of nice to have things because I'm a high achiever and I have a vision for what I want it to be. And so we're doing all these different things. And then there's this thing of giving yourself grace to say, you know what? Nobody else knows that is like something that you really have in your vision for what you want to do. And so if it doesn't happen, that's okay too. Yeah. And like just really surrendering and knowing that it's already amazing and everything else is just icing on the cake. Yeah. Or it's the sprinkles on the top of the icing on the cake, right? We have a lot of sprinkles in our summit
that nobody knew was supposed to be there.
Yeah, and they're like, I don't like cherries. They take the cherry and they don't even eat the cherry. They just leave it in the dish. You're like, what the heck? The cherry was so strategically placed.
Right? I worked hard on that last cherry.
I really sourced a lot of cherries to figure out which cherry was the best.
They don't know. They don't know how it was supposed to go. They don't know how your talk was supposed to go or how any of this. And you come off and you're like, oh my gosh, that was horrible. But nobody knows.
Put those little sprinkles in, Allison. And I think that's also what separates you from, everything else. A lot of the end receivers, like the consumers who they're like, oh, I'm so Zoom fatigued and I'm so tired. I'm like, but all of these producers are putting all of these elements in there to help keep you engaged and to not just make it, just like a normal Zoom meeting. Look at all the people they've brought, look at all the effort they've put behind it. And so it is really, it's the sprinkles, even though they're like, they might not seem like that should be the priority. I think that's truly like, they don't even, it's like the subconscious of why they loved it. They don't even realize that it's the sprinkles that make the difference.
Well, and that makes it all different because, you do start getting Zoom fatigue, going to all these same things all the time. But those little sprinkles, those are what separates you from all the rest. Oh, well, at this one, though, they have this, and this done. And at the very end, we were able to do this. I really like this one, and it's just those little things that set you apart from all the rest.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what she's got. That's what you've got poured into. So, all right. So, how they sign up again, I know we did it once, but for just anybody who's just following and streaming along, let's make sure that we get that conversation.
I actually dropped the information into one of the comments already. So you'll just click the link for access to the summit website. You'll be able to see some information. It's very clear what to click on to get your ticket. We've got free tickets, and then we also have all access passes. I actually dropped Angel's coupon code in the comments, so you can save an extra $10 off using Angel's code, and that's in the comments. We are also running an early bird special, which ends on January 11th. So the tickets right now are $67, and you can get an extra $10 off with Angel's coupon. So yeah, go in the link, click the thing, get your ticket, and then just, watch your inbox, because there's going to be lots of great stuff coming. And be sure to follow Proffit Coach so that you can just kind of see the things. Yeah, we're just so excited I can't wait. It's so much work, but I'm like, I don't even care. It's like I'm birthing a baby. I don't have any kids or anything, but I imagine it's like, it feels the same way. It's just like, this is coming from my soul. It's like, it's a connection to me. So I'm just like, there's a lot of pain leading up to it, but there's also this like anticipation of just like, I know it's going to be joyful.
You don't have to keep
What's
it for
that?
18 years afterwards. You can, once it's done, it's done. You don't have to keep it for 18 years. Like a baby.
That is true.
That's
That
funny.
is true. So Allison, yeah, so for this year, like, where do you see the summits going? Are you going to do them again? Is it an annual event? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so I definitely am envisioning this being an annual summit, and it's definitely something to expose people to the kind of work that I do as well, and really just giving people insight into how you can be resilient and rise above, brokenness and uncertainty, and just pushing through the growth. And so definitely, I see the summit happening every year. All of the speakers have been like, this is amazing. Like, I want to be a part of things that you do. So, and yeah, I'm just envisioning maybe even once we get back into being able to do things in person, having like a mid-year retreat, following a similar type of format and kind of curriculum, if you will, as the summit. So I definitely see this being a piece of my business on an ongoing basis. But my passion is one-on-one coaching, because that's where the greatest impact is. And I focus on sales, and your business is successful when you have cash flow, and cash flow comes from sales. And there are so many business owners that get stressed about selling, that get nervous about selling. Maybe they do have sales and they make a lot of sales, but that aspect of their business still really gives them anxiety and stress. And they feel like, I need to get it. I have to hit these revenue goals. And when we start feeling that constriction, that's not good for you. It comes out in your business and in your intention. And so I think this summit has to be something that happens every year, because we always are going to need those reminders. It's easy to get into the cycle of just I gotta grow, I gotta scale. Like, what does that mean? I'm stressed now. It's like, and I'm guilty of that too, right? Like, I need those reminders. I just had a half-day strategy session yesterday, and totally I simplified some things as to what was going to happen after the summit, and I had these big complex things, and I was like, this is what it has to be. This is what people are going to be looking for. And I was like, actually, no, like, everybody I talk to is always like, I really want to work with you one-on-one. It's not the other way around. It's not, I want more big group things. It's like, I mean, that's good. Community is great, but it's really the one-on-one. And those people that are ready for that and want to do it differently, I'm doing the work. And I think that we have to be doing that work for ourselves in order to be able to be walking that talk. So yeah, that was a long-winded answer, but
That's okay.
A little bit like you, Angel, like I'm like kind of all over the map, right? I just like, today is going to be the day that I'm moving into my space finally. So I'll have that sense of place, less scattered.
Sense of place really matters. I think, when you feel grounded in then you're clear to go and create. When, when you're scattered, I think it's hard to be in that creative space where you're really pouring into others. I started doing these runs on Sundays. It just gets me out, and I just get these amazing downloads while I'm just out, away from the technology, away from the responding to everything. I can just, and it takes a little while to get in that zone, get in that space. But when it happens, it's just like, oh, I don't know, just very, very
Yeah.
fabulous. Well, Allison, it's been fabulous having you join us this morning. Welcome back to Colorado.
Thanks.
Welcome
Congratulations on
back.
your,
You're
well,
not there no more.
you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. Welcome back to Colorado, because she's,
I think
Colorado.
Angel thinks she's still in Colorado sometimes.
She is. Her spirit is totally here. I feel it, Angel.
She's still
Once
there.
you're in Colorado, it has you. Like there's a part of your soul that will always be here.
It is a homey, like, I don't know if it's just because I haven't gone into a home yet, but it's very homey. It's very welcoming. And it's smaller. Like Florida is so big. And I am just like, I told Jay, I'm like, I'm never going to get used to that. It is like, we wanted to go down to the Keys to go for a bike ride. It's 4 hours away, right? Or 6 hours to where I want to go. I'm like, it's in my state. How can that be? So Colorado, there is, my heart is still, there's very much warmth and comfort in Colorado. I think we're going to come back there in the summer. Jay's got some bike rides that he's going to do. He's doing the Ride the Rockies, which is a week-long ride. He's got some big ones. And so I'm like, well, I want to go to Colorado then. I think I might just go.
Yeah, you can come to the Soulful Entrepreneur Retreat. I'm just putting that out there, universe, and going to manifest that maybe that will be in the summer, and you'll be there.
There we go.
There you go. There you go.
All right, folks. Well, I'm Angel Tussey. I am your media exposure specialist. Super honored to be invited to speak on the Soulful Entrepreneur Summit. It just, I think Allison asked me what that meant, and it just kind of took me back for a moment. Like, nobody ever asks you that. Like, what does that really mean? And so just the intention that she is putting out, the vibe. I think right now these are interesting times for sure, and if we can, go back into that space of more authenticity and be more soulful and intentional, then we serve at an even higher level, and we make it be an even bigger impact, which is my brand, right? Make your big impact. So it's right in line. So I'm super excited to be a part of that. For our guests, for our audience, if you are looking for more exposure this year, because visibility is the key to success, we've got a complimentary media starter kit for you at my website, makeyourbigimpact.com. You can grab that complimentary, makeyourbigimpact.com. And we do a media mastery boot camp 3 times a year. Our first one is coming up in just a few weeks. It will be virtual. It is our three-day boot camp where we put together all of your media assets for the year. And what I'm so proud of is when I look back at those who attended a year ago and how far they have come, the timeline and the foundation that they created from that boot camp is just, it makes my heart sing. So check that out, but get your complimentary starter kit at makeyourbigimpact.com, and join Tina and I tomorrow for our Mastering Your 21 workshop, where we're talking about calendars and time blocking and income producing activities. Like, how do you schedule all of that?
Everything, right? I am Tina Torres, your client retention expert, otherwise known as the gratitude specialist. And if you're struggling with attracting the right clients, knowing how to connect them, or even if you just don't know how to convert them into clients, I have a complimentary guide that'll help you grow your audience organically, online and offline. Learn how to connect and nurture those relationships authentically, and then take those relationships and turn them into paying clients. You can grab that guide if you text the word connection to 26786. That is the word connection to 26786. And if you have not yet bought your book, Beyond Gratitude, you can still do so for only $5. You go to beyondgratitudebook.com and you can grab your copy there. Grab 5 copies, 10 copies, send them to all of your clients and your friends and your family that are in your entrepreneurial world. So you can grab that book if you go to beyondgratitudebook.com. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show, where we come to you live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a fabulous day, guys.